Well, hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. Let me see if I got everything going on here. Hold on a second. Hope everything's going great for you. It's Friday, everybody. Good morning. Thank you all for joining us. Let's see. We've already got it in the chat. Good morning, Matthew, and all you other wonderful people. I will say hi in just a minute, as per usual. I hope you've had a great week. I've had a pretty good week. Yeah, it's been a good week. Next week's not going to be such a good week. I'm getting a colonoscopy next week. Never a fun experience. If you're old enough to have ever had a colonoscopy, let me just trust me. It's a pain in the ass. Do you have an atheist friend or family member who's a good person and you don't want to see them end up in hell? But now they're on their deathbed. Time is running out. They've been there for you and now you want to be there for them. But how can you save them from your all-loving, forgiving God and its eternal lake of fire? Well, fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of atheist deathbed conversion Bibles. No more worries of loved ones meeting their resolution without absolution. Now you too can force your faith on the weak and helpless in their final moments. Father Flanagan's line of atheist deathbed conversion Bibles are designed specifically for the weak and infirmed. Extra large type for failing eyes seeing their last. Deluxe editions come complete with a post-mortem Mother Teresa would have approved baptismal kit. Also available in heathen and heretic versions. Father Flanagan's line of atheist deathbed conversion Bibles. Coming to a Walmart near you. All right, good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a great day so far. Good morning, Kelly Laughlin, Matthew Danovic, Chrissy G, or C and G. Good morning. Let's see, is Miss Non... Oh, there's Miss Non Sequitur. Good morning. Kelly is here. Comic Brandon is here this morning. Good morning, Comic Brandon. I dig comics. Something of a comic myself occasionally. Let's see, Squark, Parrot, Spitting Feathers. That's an interesting name. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. I'm sure that, Ravadels, I didn't expect to see you this morning so early. Good morning. And let's see, Secular Feelinist and, of course, the Atheist Mechanic. You guys kicking in the door so early this morning. Thank you all for joining us. Let's see, Matthew Danovic asks, what's wrong with the New Testament? Well, there's not a single answer to that question. Are you talking about the contradictions in the New Testament? Or are you talking about the things that Jesus said that are problematic? Like gouge out your own eye, curse your own family, that sort of thing. But beat your slaves somewhere. Which part are you talking about? What of the New Testament? Let me just kind of pop this up here. I'm going to test something real quick. On my mouse, if you play, let's see if it's going to work. I'm going to go here. Oh, look at us. And it almost worked. I didn't have the chat up. Oh, the thing is, it's supposed to take the chat down when it pops that up, but I didn't figure that part out yet. So I got that. No worries. Let me, So I've got a new thing here where you can see the contradictions in the Bible. I'm going to fix that so y'all can all see it because I'm smarty nerdy like that. I actually just kind of did this morning. I worked on the show to try to make it better. Obviously, I didn't do a very good job because my green screen's all fucked up and everything. Why does this stuff work when I'm not streaming? Good morning. Let me see here. I'm going to go here and boom. And then, one second, my friends, bear with me. Let's go here, and then here, and then I'm going to go, boop. There you go. Now you can see, this is what when I do it right, the chat will automatically disappear and come back. So this is one of my favorite places to send Christians who think their Bible is inerrant and unmistaken and not flawed. It is the lyingforjesus.org. You can't really see it yet. I haven't fixed that on the vertical stream, but I'll put the link in there. It's a really fun one for me. And that link that I will give to you now will show you a lot of reasons, a lot of ways the New Testament is not good or the problems within the New Testament. Here you go. I'll post that there. And then, did it go? It did indeed go. Okay, so now like over here, if you can see it, if you're looking on the big one, let me just do this. I'm a nerd. I can make this happen. Hold on a second. Let's go. Vertical right here, huh? Yeah. All right, hold on. Don't. All right. There we go. All right, so if over here we got this is the Old Testament over here, and this over here is the New Testament. And you see all these lines right here. Now the New Testament, as you can see, is quite a bit smaller than the Old T, And So there is that. Let me put this over. So it is a little bit smaller, but look at all the contradictions, all those wacky contradictions right there in the New Testament. And then, of course, there's all the rest of them between here and there and thus, right? But then you've also got the scientific absurdities, the historical inaccuracies, the cruelty and violence in the Bible. Oh, this side over here, there's our New Testament misogyny against women. Still there. Not as bad, I have to give you credit. I think that's because they just didn't really deal with women very much. I mean, just didn't deal with them very much. Not a lot of women to be dealt with. Jesus and his group of 12 guys, right? Not gay at all. And remember, Jesus and only a couple of them, one I think or two, were in their 30s. All the rest were like late teens, early 20s. Something. If that was happening today, parents would be calling, going, "Hey man, something ain't right." This, Anyway, discrimination against homosexuals, right there and there and there, and then other data stuff. So that's one of the fun ways to go. I wanted to test that and see. All right, so now let me bring this back over here. I'll fix that so we can all enjoy that later. So, good morning, everyone. There we go. Let's see. Matthew Downey, willing slaves or slaves to anyone. It should take Satan about 5 seconds to convince you to be his slave. That's the whole deal. Trying to lessen what the word slave means is shameful. It is. I mean, you know what you're doing. You know whenever you're trying to, he's a bond slave or what. No, bond slaves can leave. That they can leave. They can leave. There's different types of slavery, and obviously this is not that kind. Some of them do have an end date on when they can leave, but during that time they're pretty just slaves, body slaves, just as you would expect. Let me see here. Good morning. Nightlife with Kyle. How you doing? Let's see. I'm trying to get some stuff going on over. Put that down and get this out of here. All right. So now got that there, and our topic for today. Let me see if I can find that real quick. We're not still doing that over there, are we? Okay. No. And then. Oh, that's what I was doing. And then along came Jones. Y'all old enough to remember that song? Tall, thin Jones. There we go. There's our chat back. I knew I could do it. Okay, I'll just have to figure up a little switch so whenever it does the other thing, it makes it go away. Good morning, Chris LXXXIX. Oh, I will speak out about child sacrifice. You will speak out about it? Are you for it or against it? Cry about the Jews more. I must have come in the middle of a conversation or something. Let's see. Why don't you go after Molech worship, which is real? Okay, I'll tell you what. Are you here? Are you still there, Chris? I'll tell you what. What is Molech worship? Do you really know what Molech worship is? Molech worship, actually, it depends. Okay, fine. There's this thing where they sacrifice children through fire. That's a process called Molech. And that was the problem that you may be talking about, where they actually sacrificed their children through fire. It could have been that they did it to Baal or to a different god, but God creature demands child sacrifice. This whole thing about, where did it go? Oh man, did it leave? This whole thing about him, I'm trying to find it. I got new shit, sorry. There we go. Pen, so I don't lose it. So God creature commands the sacrifice of children over and over and over again. They get to doing it so much that they actually have to tell their people again in the Old Testament, don't sacrifice your children. Stop sacrificing your children. I can give you 3 examples right now, just in Exodus 2 and Exodus 13, where God creature says, sacrifice your firstborn sons to me. Okay, so there's that. So you can't really complain about sacrificing babies because it is the sacrifice of babies. God loves the sacrifice of babies. The problem was either with that, whether that they were pissed off about, was either that they were sacrificing to a different God or they were sacrificing to God through fire, and that was the problem. Either way, though, God loves child sacrifice. He's all about it. Jesus is a child sacrifice, is he not? He is God's son, therefore God's child. God, father and son relationship matters. Therefore, Jesus is a child sacrifice, God's child. For God so loved the world that he forgave his only begotten son. That's a child sacrifice. The 10 plagues of Egypt, when God murders all the firstborn of Egypt. Exodus 13, 1 and 2, sacrifice to me your firstborn children. Exodus 13 and 14. After you get to Canaan, you can then start substituting a redemption instead of redeem something else instead of your sons, but not before then. That's God, creature. Did you want to go read that yourself, or no? So it's not a what's not a sacrifice? Let me see what you're saying here. Sorry, man. The chat goes on. Yeshua never died. Well, I mean, well, then it wasn't a sacrifice. I don't guess I get your point. I mean, if you're a Christian, I don't really know what's going on. Then I must be catching up. Eternity is a long time. Yeah. So let me just look at the thing here. Just see. But Jews reject Christ too. Baal does. They went with Baal after they renege. Yes, the Son of God. After they renege. I'm sure that's Baal. Nope, Baal does. Not the creator. Elohim, well, Yeshua never did. So it's not a sacrifice, is it? What? It's not a sacrifice? Wait a second. Good luck. Eternity is a long time. Are you leaving now? Are you leaving before I show you the scripture where it proves that you're God creature like sacrifice? No? You're going to leave before that happens? You're running away? Bye-bye. Ha-ha. Fire for you. No? Yeah? No? I mean, you already know about God creature murdering all the children of firstborn Egypt. I mean, you just can't even deny that. All you Christians know about that. It's like Moses, that business. Let's see. Good morning, Randy G. How are you doing? Yeshua never rose and died again. You know, that's complicated. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think he did. I think he may have been a real person. Possibly a real person, maybe based on a real person, not a supernatural real person, just a real person. Yeah, that he did not. You know, it's like Batman, you know, or Spider-Man. You know, Stan Lee knew a kid in school who was acrobatic, named his character Spider-Man, and blah, 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 blah. That doesn't mean the kid in school was superpowered like Spider-Man. Just because they based it on a real person doesn't mean that. You know, but then again, if you want to do the whole thing and you want to say that he didn't rise again, well, fine. It wasn't a sacrifice. I mean, I don't think he was I think he was a prophet. I hate to say it, but I kind of agree with the Muslims on this. It clearly says so in the Bible over and over again. Over and over again. I don't guess it does. It does one time. One time, Jesus tells you he is a prophet. Jesus never says he is God. Never. So it's other books later that claim he's God. The writer of John claims Jesus may be God. But in the two examples in John where that does happen, as we've shown on the show, both times where he kind of alludes that he might be God, and they pick up stones to stone him, instead of demonstrating his wonderful godly power, he runs away. Literally runs away. So, bum. Yahweh is the storm deity. You know, I mean, you're saying things I just can't argue with. I guess it depends on the time and the culture and when, and yeah, I guess so. Let's see. Pharaoh was warned multiple times and still changed. Yeah, no. Wait a second. Wait. All right, so here's the deal. Yahshua, he's our Elohim. All right, so Pharaoh was warned several times. Yeah, Pharaoh was warned for several times. But God said before, he tells us, he sends Moses, you go and talk to the Pharaoh, Abraham, or what's his brother's name? I can't remember his brother's name. Your brother is going to go and he's going to do something with him, but I am going to harden Pharaoh's heart and he is not going to let my people go. He says that beforehand. God takes credit for hardening Pharaoh's heart beforehand. Therefore, all the firstborn children of Egypt were murdered just for God. It wasn't Pharaoh's fault. It was God's fault. God admits it. He admits that he's going to do it. And then when you start reading the story of the Pharaoh, they get like 2 or 3 plagues into it, and then there's like the boils and shit, and the Pharaoh's like, oh man, I give in. Take your people. God's like, nope, we're going to go all the way through this because I want to murder babies to show how wonderful I am. I don't think John, anyway, you don't care anyway. So that's kind of the thing. Let's see. Pharaoh was warned. Yeah, but again, it wasn't Pharaoh's fault. God admits to it beforehand. He tells you before. I mean, I guess I ought to go get that so you can know for yourself. Don't trust me. I'm just some lying atheist. Hold on a second. Ah, man, I do this so often. I get so many of them in there. There we go. Let's see what happens. Bum. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Oh, bad Chris. Ha. When did Pharaoh tell Moses he was going to harden God's heart? I don't know. I'll be okay. Let's see. I think it's Exodus 7. Yeah, here we go. Exodus 7:3. Let's bring this up together, my friends. Exodus 7. So in Exodus 7, the Lord said to Moses, "See, I have made you like a god to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron will be your prophet. You are to say everything I command you, and your brother Aaron is to tell Pharaoh to let the Israelites go out of his country. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and though I multiply my signs and wonders in Egypt, he will not listen to you." What are his signs and wonders in Egypt? What were they again? What is it that he's multiplying, his signs and wonders? They're the 10 plagues of Egypt, aren't they? That's what your God creatures' signs and wonders are. The 10 plagues of Egypt. And again, let's see, I'd have to take a moment to go find it, where, of course, there's also the other part where Pharaoh, again, like in the beginning, he's going to, but God hardens his heart. So all those firstborn children of Egypt, all the plagues, all the animals that were killed, all the boils, all the horrific things that happened was directly just because God wanted to show how shitty a creature he was. And he tells you so right here. Because what are his signs and wonders? Why didn't he go in there? His signs and wonders be wisdom, love, courage, patience, tolerance, understanding, and forgiveness. Why wasn't that his signs and wonders? No. Now, and here's the other thing. So you're going to blame the Pharaoh. Oh, it was the Pharaoh's fault. But it wasn't the Pharaoh's son, I don't think. He may have had a son that died, but it was all the children of the firstborn children, all the mothers and fathers out there who lost their innocent babies because God creature was mad at Pharaoh for something Pharaoh wasn't going to do anyway. And God takes credit for it all. So, again, where's God's signs and wonders? Oh, I brought this up here on the thing. I've got this new thing that I'm trying to work on. Now, I haven't obviously fixed that other part. Let's go poop. There you go. But you can see here, right there at the beginning, I command you and your brother to do the thing. I will harden Pharaoh's hearts, and though I multiply. And you can see if you go watch, and I don't have it pulled up. I'll have to pull it up. It may even be here. In this one here. Yeah, it may be. This one or the next one. The plague of frogs. Okay, so there's the plague of blood, the plague of frogs. Hold on a second. Let me see what the next ones are. They're just all horrific. Where is the next button on you? Damn you! Anyway, let's go Exodus 8. Do it the easy way. Back 8. All right, so let's see what else we got in here. Plague of gnats, plague of flies. This is what your God creatures' signs and wonders are. They are horrific. They're the things that you would think of as a demon in a horror movie. Like what's that? The one with the Tony Todd with the bees coming out of his mouth, Candyman or some shit. That's what you would think when you see this. It's a horrific example. Horrific. Let me continue. Plague of flies. Oh, Exodus 9. There's a little link down there. Then the Lord said to Moses, and we go on, the plague of boils. Now here it is, my friend. Let's check it out if I remember right. The Lord says to take a handful of soot, blah, 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 blah. So they took the soot from the furnace. Moses tossed it in the air. Festering boils took out on the people. The magicians could not stand before Moses because of the boils that were on them and all of the Egyptians. But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart, and he would not listen to Moses and Aaron, just as the Lord had said to Moses. We go on. Let's see. Is this the one? Then Pharaoh down here comes and says, then Pharaoh, later on, after he's getting their asses kicked with all these plagues, right? The plague of hail, the plague of boils. Is it down here? He says, the Pharaoh summoned Moses and Aaron. This time I have sinned. He said, that the Lord is in the right, and I and my people are in the wrong. Pray to the Lord, for we have had enough thunder and hail. Remember, he brought that on them. God, not the Pharaoh. God did it, not the Pharaoh. but they're sitting here begging. Okay? Pray to the Lord, for we have had enough thunder and hail. I will let you go. You don't have to stay any longer. Moses replied, when I have cried out of the city, I will spread out my hands in prayer to the Lord. The thunder will stop, and there will be no more hail. Thunder stopped, no more hail. And then the plague continued. Right here. I mean, it's like I was actually kind of surprised. I'm like, wait, okay, so maybe I was wrong. I thought there was more coming. It kind of sounds like Pharaoh's like, okay, cool, when I've gone out of the city, I will spread my hands in prayer in the Lord, blah, 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 blah. Then Moses left the Pharaoh and went out to the city. He spread out his hands toward the Lord. The thunder and hail stopped, and the rain no longer poured down on the land. When Pharaoh saw that the rain and hail and thunder had stopped, he sinned again. He and his officials hardened their hearts. And why would you do that? That doesn't make sense at all, does it? It doesn't make any sense at all, seeing these humongous miracles right before their very eyes. Yeah. Anyway, when Pharaoh saw the rain, blah, 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 so the Pharaoh's heart was hardened again, and he would not let the Israelites go, just as the Lord said through Moses. Now, again, it does say here, when Pharaoh saw the rain and hail and thunder had stopped, he sinned again. He and his officials hardened their hearts. Okay? But the very next line in the very next chapter says, then the Lord said to Moses, go to Pharaoh, for I have hardened his heart and the hearts of his officials. He takes credit for it right there. God does. God takes credit for all of this. Isn't that interesting? So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and said to them, this is what the Lord, the God of the Hebrews, says. How long will you refuse to humble yourself before me? I have kicked your ass. Then we go on, the plague of darkness. Then we go on. These are all these signs and wonders of your God, so that they would know he is the Lord. Remember, these are the signs and wonders of your God. The 10 plagues of Egypt. Another time where God says, it's whenever in Ezekiel, where he brags about telling them in Exodus to sacrifice their firstborn children. He said, I had them defile their sacrifice, or defile their offerings, the sacrifice of their firstborn, so that they would know horror and that I am the Lord. What kind of God do you worship again? Loving, kind, forgiving, merciful, peaceful. Firstborns. Here's all the firstborns. Now, one of the really interesting things that you might not think about terribly often is that Jesus was a Jew. Let's see, those are punishments. I'm just kind of catching up. I'm just kind of catching up. I can't catch up. Chest's going by too far. The casualties in free will. Oh no, God, how could you? Right. See, that's the whole deal. Was it that? I just thought I went through and explicitly proved to you that it wasn't their free will that caused the problem. God hardened Pharaoh's fucking heart. Beforehand, he said he was going to. It wasn't Pharaoh using his free will. Blaming, and you're victim blaming, right? And because Pharaoh did something wrong, that makes it okay to murder all the firstborn sons of Egypt, to rain boils out because Pharaoh did something wrong. One man did something wrong and you murder all. It does kind of make sense with your God creature, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Interesting stuff. Pharaoh. I just got a lot of shit on my screen. Good morning, Kelly Laughlin. Let's see who else is here. Jessica's here. Yes, victim blaming. You are victim blaming. Whenever you sit there and go, you had a choice. Here's the deal. Whenever you get home tonight, your husband's going to beat the shit out of you. You had a choice. You were given a choice. You could stay in the house or leave and get the shit beat out of you. But you left. So now when you get home, you're going to get the shit beat out of you. And it's your fault because you left. You don't see the similarities in those stories. Your God creature at best is an abusive relationship. At best. At best. Yeah. And you can't see the victim blaming. I'm going to create the entire universe, make it to where you can make the slightest little tiniest of mistake and you're going to spend eternity, for whatever that means, in an eternal damnation, whatever, again, that means to you Christians. And that's a good God creature. Really, that's a good God creature. That's moral by you. But then, well, yeah, when you go look at the Old Testament, that's exactly what the God creature does. It overblows everything. Whenever it hurts somebody, it hurts them all. I mean, you remember the story of, what's her name? Oh, shit. Korah, whenever Abraham and Moses and them are wandering in the desert, and Korah, I think, and a couple of people come to Moses and say, hey, we don't think you're running this place right. We want to get some other leadership in here. Moses said, bring all your people to a meeting tomorrow. They did. They brought their whole tribe, and God creature swallowed them up and killed them all. All the men, all the women, all the little babies, all the children, because of Korah, because God creature's a piece of shit. And then go read for yourself, my ignorant Christian friends. What happened after that? The other people in Moses' tribe said, oh shit, Moses, look what happened. Look what that fucking God creature did. And you know what God said? Moses, separate yourself from your people. It kind of loses something if I don't tell you how in the first. Whenever Korah and his people showed up the next day, God creature starts by going, Moses, separate yourself from these people. Then he kills all those people. And then Moses' people go, oh my God, didn't you see that? And Moses is like, and then God says, Moses, separate yourself from these people. What does Moses do? At this point, does he separate himself from his people and they get destroyed? Or what? What happened with Moses? He started burning incense and praying and sacrificing and just going through all the motions to save his people. Interesting. I know you don't obviously believe me. Let me get that shit off the screen. This is it. Moses. K-O-R-O-H. I don't know how I remember all this shit. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Let's go here. I want to see if I can find it. What is it over here? Number 16. Let's go to number 16, my friends. The flock. Numbers 16. Do we care about what number 16 says? I don't know. So the movie could happen. Korah, the son of Ishar, he's the guy who complained, right? So we go on. Let's see. They came as a group to oppose Moses and Aaron and said to them, you have gone too far. The whole community is holy, every one of them, and the Lord is with them. Then why then do you set yourselves above the Lord's assembly? That's what they're asking. When Moses heard this, he fell face down. Then he said to Korah and all his followers, in the morning the Lord will show who belongs to him and who is holy, and he will have that person come near him. The man who chooses, that's why I put even that thing up there. The man he chooses, he will cause to come near him. You, Korah, and all of your followers are to do this. Take censers and tomorrow put burning coals and incense in them before the Lord. The man the Lord chooses will be the one who is holy. You Levites have gone too far. Okay? Then it goes on. Let's see where it goes up. All right, so we can read the whole thing if we want to, but I kind of don't think we ought to. It's going to take us forever. So Moses said to Korah, you and all your followers appear before the Lord tomorrow. Okay, so they continue arguing. Moses became angry and said to the Lord, do not accept their offering. I have not taken so much as a donkey from them, nor have I wronged them in any way. Moses said to Korah, you and all your followers appear tomorrow before the Lord, you and they and Aaron. Each man is to take his censer and put his incense in it. Go on about itself. All right, so we get down here. When Korah had gathered all of his followers in opposition to them at the entrance of the tent of meeting, as he was lured to do, the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, separate yourself from this assembly so I can put an end to them at once. But Moses and Aaron fell down and cried out, oh God, the God who gives breath to all and living things, will you be angry with the entire assembly when only one man sins? That's weird. Why would they ask that? Okay, so let's go on. Then the Lord said to Moses, say to the assembly, move away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. he didn't even answer his question. Will you be angry with the entire assembly when only one man? Moses got up and went to Dathan and Blah, and the elders of Israel followed him. He warned the assembly, move back from the tents of these wicked men. Do not touch anything belonging to them. You will be swept away because of their sins. What were their sins, though? What was their sin? Questioning Moses, right? I mean, it's not like they were doing anything horrific. Not, oh my God. Challenge of his power, I think is how we would do that. So you will be swept away because of their sins. So they moved away from the tents of Korah, Dathan and Abiram. Dathan and Abiram had come out and were standing with their wives, children, and little ones at the entrance to their tents. Then Moses said, this is how you will know that the Lord has sent me to do all these things, and it was not my idea. If these men die a natural death and suffer the fate of all mankind, then the Lord has not sent me. But if the Lord brings about something totally new, and the earth opens up its mouth and swallows them with everything that belongs to them, and they go down alive into the realm of the dead, then you will know that these men have treated the Lord with contempt. As soon as he finished saying this, the ground under them split apart, and the earth opened its mouth and swallowed them and their households, and all those associated with Korah, together with their possessions. They went down alive into the realm of the dead, and everything they owned, the earth closed over them, and they perished and were gone from the community. At their cries, all the Israelites around them fled, shouting, the earth is going to swallow us too. Notice how it scared the piss out of Moses' own people, not the course, and came fire out of the Lord and consumed the 250 men who were offering the incense. So then it says, God burned up literally to fire the men who were offering incense to the Lord. Okay. Then the Lord said to Moses, the priest, remove the censers from the charred remains and scatter the coals some distance away, for the censers are holy, the censers of the men who sinned at the cost of their lives. Hammer the censers into the sheets to overlay the altar, for they were presented before the Lord and have become holy. Let them be assigned to the Israelites. So they collected the thing. Okay, hold on a second. Here we go. The next day, I could read the whole thing, but again, it's just about 6 sentences. The next day, the whole Israelite community grumbled against Moses and Aaron. You have killed the Lord's people, they said. But when the assembly gathered in opposition to Moses and Aaron and turned toward the tent of meeting, suddenly the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared. Then Moses and Aaron went to the front of the tent meeting, and the Lord said to Moses, get away from this assembly, so I can put an end to them at once. And then Moses and Aaron fell down. Moses said to Aaron, take your censer and put incense in it along with burning coals from the altar, and hurry to the assembly to make atonement for them. Wrath has come out from the Lord. The plague has started. So Aaron did as Moses said and ran into the midst of the assembly. The plague had already started among the people. Fuck. God's killing his own people right here. For what? For going, oh my God, look at how he killed those people. And now he's sending a plague among his own people. You're reading this with me, right, good Christians? You're reading that, right? You're a loving God creature. Wisdom, kindness, mercy, forgiveness. No, none of that. None of that. Let's continue. So the plague had already started among the people, but Aaron offered the incense and made atonement for them. He stood between the living and the dead, and the plague stopped. But 14,700 people died from the plague, in addition to those who had died because of Korah. Then Aaron returned to Moses at the entrance of the tent of meeting, for the plague had stopped. You worship a horrific God, and I hope you can see through it. I hope you can realize that that's what this is. It's not the loving, kind little old man sitting in the clouds. It's not Jesus saying blah, blah, blah. Remember, Jesus is one of those things where he's like, it sounds like he's saying forgive and be nice and all that business, but his entire message is one point. Believe in God through me or go to hell. It doesn't matter if you're kind to your neighbor or not, as long as you believe in Jesus Christ. So, but here, this God creature. And remember, this is who, whenever you don't pass the test, the Jesus test, when you get there and Jesus is like, oh, yeah, well, it was only the Methodists that were the right Christians. Everybody else is fucking doing it wrong. You say it yourself. Those aren't right Christians. Those aren't normal right. Those aren't good Christians. Same thing. So then maybe you are a Methodist. He's like, oh, you were a Methodist, but you didn't love me enough. You didn't work hard enough. You were too cold in my mouth. Have you not read the Bible, people? This God creature of yours is fucking horrific. Horrific. And the saddest part is most of you don't even know. Have no clue. No clue. That's why I'm here, though. Guten Morgen, Tanzen Coup. Do you have a loved one who's on their deathbed, but they've yet to give themselves up to the Lord?
Are you sure you don't want to come to Jesus?
No.
This is your final chance.
No. Worried they're headed to the fiery pits of hell.
Your very last chance.
No. I've been wicked and sinful. I deserve to burn in the hot place.
As you wish. Farewell, my heathen husband.
Farewell, my... Well, fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of post-mortem baptismal kits. No more worries about being miserable alone forever. Be a good Christian and share that eternal pain and suffering with the ones you love. I'm in hell. Not as hot as I thought it'd be. Kind of feels like Houston, minus the humidity. Hello. My favorite drink crafted to perfection. Ooh, and some dank ass weed.
I can't bear to be down on my face chanting, holy, holy, holy is the Lord, every day, all day, for all eternity, by myself.
Wow, is that George Carlin? And Alan Turing, look at that. Carl say, oh, I am so honored. You've been my hero since I was a kid. Neil deGrasse Tyson, what are you doing here? Oh, I get it. I get it. Schrodinger's heathen. Very cute, you. Very cute. That's fantastic. Oh, what is that? What is... It's holy water. Oh, it burns. No, this isn't where I want to be. Pabst Blue Ribbon and a Marlboro? No! Father Flanagan's post-mortem baptismal kit. Dead kid tested, Mother Teresa approved. Is that the Pope and John Paul? Jim Jones and Jimmy Swaggart, huh? I could see that coming. Neil deGrasse, what are you doing? Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord.
Thanks, Father Flanagan.
Damn them to an eternity in heaven for only $59.99. They wouldn't appreciate it, but you'll feel better. And that's the point, isn't it? Get yours now. Your heathen loved one's time is running out. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. This is some bullshit. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord. All right, guys. I have been getting some super chats and I didn't hear them. Sorry. Let me read them real quick. TEC says, how gay you have to be to get an atheist tattoo about God that doesn't exist. The non-existence of a God yet again affects my friend Chris. No. Your God not existing doesn't affect me at all. It's the actions of you, his followers. That's what this is all about. That's why I'm here. I don't believe in God. I don't believe in Emperor Palpatine. But if Emperor Palpatine had people going around hurting other people, imposing his religion on other people right here in the United States, if he were forcing his religious doctrine on our children in schools, if he were forcing his religious doctrine on our women across the country, that would be entirely different if his people were doing that. Obviously, Emperor Palpatine can't do that because he's not real, but if his followers were doing that, then I would have a problem with him too. But I don't. It's Christians. It's you guys who are out there oppressing people. You can't see it, and you have no idea why I'm here. None. And it really is par for the course. I did a show the other day called How Secular Humanism is More Moral Than Christianity, and you're the perfect example as to why. I mean, you just shine for me. I don't even have to do anything. The fish hooks itself. Learn to separate God from government. Yeah. If Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump and all those right-wing conservative Christian bitches in the White House could do that. You know, they have like a religious prayer meeting every day before she comes out and talks to the people or some business. I don't keep up with it. But I mean, I know they do that. I know they have the religious meetings. I know they have the Office of Anti-Christian Bias. Not anti-religion bias. Anti-Christian bias. Yeah, they need one that, yeah. Good morning, Ryan H. Theists are low IQ. That is technically true. That's scientifically true. Yeah. That the higher IQ a person is, the more intelligent a person is, the less likely they are to be religious. The less intelligent they are, the more likely they are to be religious. Huh. Now, you can go, there's scientists, go look that shit up. You ain't got to believe me. Don't believe me. I'm just some liar. Don't believe me. Your skits are big lame. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I forgot to read the rest of the super chats. Thank you, ME. Most people enjoy my skits. I have more. So there you go. Thank you for the $5 super chat, TEC. Beard of Empathy for $5 says, Stanley absolutely adored alliterative appellatives. Wow, I said that out loud correctly. Can you play Wild Bill 2 next break? You know what? I didn't see this until after. I will play Wild Bill 2 as soon as I'm done reading this here for you, because you're awesome. Some people seem to think, the atheist mechanic, that America was founded on Judeo-Christian principles. The Treaty of Tripoli would disagree with that, though. Can't have freedom of religion without freedom from religion. And one of the things is that, most of the founding fathers, I believe, were deists. They weren't Christian necessarily, most of them. That's why you get that Treaty of Tripoli. They knew people were worried about Christianity. That's why they left fucking England, because of the Christian oppression. They don't know. Salty Namekin. So why even argue about something you believe is a fairy tale? Well, the reason why, were you not here just a minute ago whenever I said that because Christians oppress people, and that's why I'm against it? Because it's not the fairy tale, it's the people who hurt in the name of that fairy tale that I'm opposing. Now, here's the deal. Why would I argue about something? Because I want to show you. I want to show you, using your own Bible, how ridiculous this bullshit is, how disgusting it is. You have no idea how disgusting. What we talked about the last hour here, God creature getting mad at his own people and killing 14,000 of them? Because what, one of them complained? Wait, so actually the 14,000, that's even worse. So you got Korah and his small group of people complain. The God creature opens up the earth, eats them, and then whenever Moses' own people say, oh man, that was fucked up, God creature says, Moses, separate yourself from those people. And while Moses is praying and repenting and doing all kinds of sacrificing to make shit not happen, God kills over 14,000 of his own Israelite people. Loving, merciful, kind, forgiving. You have no idea how gross your fucking God is. Next up in the bark bank, a clergyman with a holy hustle, and maybe a few unholy and loopholes. Welcome to Shakespeare with a Redneck. Finally, I'm Wild Bill Wigglestick, and this is my trusty sidekick, Willie the Kid. And we'll be your handsome hosts, your gilded guide, your cowboys, concierges to Shakespeare. Oh, how cute. Wait, is that at 2, Ollie? Run along, little doggy. Bill, where the hell have you been? Well, I've been roaming the earth, going back and forth upon it, to and fro and whatnot. I like to travel too. Wait a second. Yep, back and forth upon earth, doing unto others before they do unto me. Bill, are you quoting the Bible? Trying to quote the Bible? Indeed I am. Despite my appearance, I am a man of culture and know many things, not just Shakespeare. Really? So you have a Shakespeare monologue related to atheism or skepticism? Indeed I do. Bear witness. Oh, this is going to be good. This is the excellent foppery of the world, that when we are sick in fortune, often the product of our own behavior, we make guilty of our disasters the sun, the moon, and stars, as if we were villains on necessity, fools by heavenly compulsion, knaves, thieves, and treacherous by spherical predominance, drunkards, liars, and adulterers by an enforced obedience of planetary influence. And all that we are evil in by a divine thrusting on. An admirable evasion of whoremaster man to lay his goatish disposition to the charge of a star. My father compounded with my mother under the dragon's tail, and my nativity was under Ursa Major, so that it follows I am rough and lecherous. I should have been that I am had the maidenliest star in the firmament twinkled on my bastardizing. Wow, that really is spot on about what we cover here on the channel about how, people. So here's a quick rundown of the situation. Bill, this non-believer, ignores the teachings of his learned father and ends up getting 4 people killed. Bill, that's not. Okay. Carry on. Shakespeare was a heathenistic non-believer bound for the fiery pits of hell, just like yourselves. I don't think. And in order to throw the murderous church of the time off his heathen trail, he writes the skeptic as a sneaking, lying, adulterated father and brother, hating and betraying villain who ends up getting his comeuppance in the end. Bill, oh, come on, man. You're always blah, blah, Bible stuff, blah, blah, boring. You got to spice things up. Bill, tacos are spicy. Everybody loves tacos. Bill, tacos and boobies. Okay, you're not wrong there either. Tasty and delicious culture, baby, coming at you. Avoid the storm of familial discontent. Blow winds and clap your cheeks by clicking that subscribe button and hitting that. Wait a second. Don't you mean crack your cheeks? Nope. Bill. Send safely, my friends. Take care.
Peace.
All right, we're back. So let's see here. We've got Salty Namkin doing their thing. Let's see here. Where is it? Right here. I saw. Simon getting on to me. Let me just pull up his name here. Let's do this. See user history. Bum. So grown men don't argue about Santa or other gods. No, but you spend time hating. There you go. So here's his chat. Sorry, my timer on my commercial because I skipped commercials. Here's his chat, though. He's sitting there going, I just went through this whole thing about why I do what I do. Has nothing to do with believing in his God creature or none of that business. But he's sitting here, why would you, grown men don't argue about Santa or other things. You spend your time hating on something you don't believe is true. That was after I said, I don't believe God is true. It's the actions of his followers, how they oppress other people. He completely ignored that. Notice this is exactly Christian deafness to the truth. He ignored everything I said about what they do, the book bans in schools, the 10 Commandments in schools, the, what is her? She's Amy Coney Barrett. She's a handmaid for her church. The Christians who took over the Supreme Court, who killed Roe v. Wade, lying after they said under oath that they would not do so. Now, we've got the Christians who took over our government, who kicked all the trans people out of the military. That one still bugs the piss out of me. People lost their entire careers because you bitches have some religious notion against trans people. It has nothing to do with an imaginary creature. It's the actions of its followers. I would ask you to type that in the chat, but I just don't think you're capable. I don't think you heard a word I said. I just don't. And why would Jesus the sinless bow to you who has a mouthful of guile? True enough. Jesus is sinless, huh? You know, here's the deal. I mean, everything God likes is good. Everything God dislikes is bad. Whatever Jesus does is good. It doesn't matter. If he's God and you think he's God, it doesn't matter. He can go out there and, as exampled in this very show today, murder children, call for the sacrifice of babies. And that's not evil, is it? Because God did it, right? Am I right? It's not evil because God told him to murder those babies, correct? In the story of Korah, it even goes through the effort to tell you that it wasn't Korah, but it wasn't just Korah, but Korah's other people, his other helpers or his minions or whatever, they and his lieutenants, I don't know, they and their wives and families stood outside their tents, little children, and then God gobbles them up. And this one person says it was because Korah, oh man, I wish my fucking pen stuck, because Korah, it was his fault. He spoke bad words or something. Really? That's worthy to you. That's judgment to you. That's reasonable to you. Murder all of them. Man, woman, and child. And then deny that your God creature does such things. And then when I talk about Matthew 24, whenever Jesus says he's going to come back and murder everyone, billions of people dead, you're like, no, Jesus would never do that. But then I give you example after example of them murdering and commanding the murder of babies in the Old Testament. God, creature loves baby deaths. He calls for the sacrifice of them. He intentionally goes and kills them. Egypt, looking at you, Egypt, right? That's 2 examples right there. Do. This one, do. So, let's see. Jesus was a liar. He was indeed a liar. I didn't want to go there because I didn't think the guy would believe me anyway. Dogman in your neighborhood said you can do whatever you want in this world, but you will answer for it in the next world. Yeah, see, that's the threat. Isn't that disgusting? Is that disgusting? Your religion is so weak and flimsy and so just unbelievable. It's just bullshit, really. That if a person is smart enough to think themselves out of it, you got to threaten them with fear, with eternal damnation. Interesting. Yeah, lots of fear. But see, that's kind of the thing. Who's afraid? I'm not afraid. You're afraid. You're either afraid for me or you're afraid for you. But either way, you're afraid of your God. So it's your God. Loving, merciful, forgiving, peaceful, kind? No. Let's see. Use the next verse as rape because the NIV says rape when the word is caught together. And so you're talking about something about somebody else. There's a time if you're talking. I mean, those are bad examples anyway about whether a woman is seduced or whether she is physically raped or whatever. I mean, the fact that they have a monetary price for redemption for the hymen is the problem. You don't know that, do you? That's the whole deal. That's the only reason why any of this happens is because whenever that woman, that girl, is violated, that money is lost. The hymen. He can't. That father has lost finances, and that's why they force them to pay him. He's lost finances, and then you'd like, oh no, it's because he hurt his daughter. No, the rapist gets to take the daughter after paying the money for the hymen. The best the woman can hope for is that God decides to live up to the rest of the scriptures that says he should take care of her because he did this to her. That's the best it's got. And that's only if he's caught. Who wouldn't want heaven? Have you read about heaven? You didn't see my commercial earlier, have you? You should go read about what heaven. Go look at the examples of whenever somebody experiences God or experiences, go look. It's never pleasant. It is never pleasant. I guess there is the thing when somewhere, I'm not sure where it was, where there really is some sort of streets of gold or some bullshit. I think that's pretty vague, though. I don't think that's in the Bible. That might be in something else. Whenever you get to go read Revelation, it reads like a hellscape, heaven. They're up there. They're getting ready for war. They're marshaling their forces. They call out the Lamb, and here comes out the Lamb, and he's covered in blood. And it's like, when you read it, when you see it's like fire and devil pits and all this, under the throne of heaven is all the souls who were murdered in the name of God, who stood up for God, the martyrs, if you will. And what do they do? What have they been doing this whole time? What have them souls been doing this whole time? Going down there, revenge us, get blood for us, revenge us. What the fuck? Have you not read the Bible? And it talks about like a God creature sitting on the throne and these horrific creatures that surround him. I mean, I would think they're horrific. Some people got their wood, you know. I don't know. I don't judge kinks. I don't, you know. But it's horrific. Go read it. Go read it. Don't listen to me. Let's see. You haven't read it, obviously. I haven't read it? Huh. Maybe you should go read it. Go read it. Oh, I got an idea. Let me do this thing. Does that work? Is that working still? Ooh, there we go. I got to get that off of here. And over here. Let's let's see. Boom. I'm just reading through your guys' chat and seeing what's going on. Trying to catch up a little bit. I'll choose heaven over hell any day of the week. Isn't it funny that your God creature is supposed to be merciful and loving, but if I don't want to live in his house, he will force me to live in a pit of fire and eternal damnation rather than forcing me to live in his house? Which do you think I'd rather not be in? I don't obviously want to be in his house, but fuck, right? A pit of fire, eternal damnation. He does it. You're like, well, you don't want to be forced to live with him, so it's hellfire for you. But do you see what you're saying? Your choice is this. Yeah, actually, I would if I was given the choice. God creature opened up the heavens, drug me up there right there and now and said, listen, man, I know you fucking hate me. Would you rather be here or do you want to go down to the burning place? Man, I'd be like, man, I don't really like you. It's all the fucking show tunes you listen to and all that bitch. I just can't handle it. But I'd rather be here than burning and screaming and gnashing of teeth for fucking eternity. It's not a choice. And this whole notion that God creature says something and you better do what he says or he's going to hurt you later, that's absolutely abusive. Absolutely. But remember to keep telling yourself that he is worthy. He needs your praise. He needs your love. If you did something good, he gets that. Because he's a piece of shit that's going to beat the fuck out of you if you don't do what's right. Right? But you got to be holy, righteous. It's only he who is righteous will pass. But who's righteous and who's wicked? Ooh, let's look at this together. Mi burrito está no bueno. It burns when I pee. I really need to try that program again. You know, I have a notes program that kind of helps keep track of this shit, but let's see if I can find what I'm looking for here. Is it down here? Okay, hold on. See, that's what I'm saying about my notes. Hold on a second. Let me find my notes. Rant coming. Un moment, s'il vous plaît. Okay, so we're going to work out some math, my ignorant Christian friends. And, sorry, everybody else. Matthew 13. Turn to Matthew 13 in your hymnals, in your Bibles, my friends. Let's look at this together. Where did it go? Matthew 13. All right. Now, this is good because it's got a couple of them in there. Because it's got the parable of the weeds, the parable of the nets. You know what parables are, right? We'll talk about that in a minute. So here we go. I want to write down that note. Parables, because I will forget parables. Okay, so here. This is Jesus talking, and this is Jesus saying when he returns. So consider this. What happens if Jesus returned today, according to what he says right now? Listen. Here we go. As weeds are pulled up and burned in the fire, so it will be at the end of the age. The Son of Man will send out his angels, and they will weed out of his kingdom everything that causes sin and all who do evil. They will throw them into the blazing furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. The righteous will shine like the sun. The unrighteous will shine like a bonfire, I guess, in the kingdom of their Father. Who has ears, let them hear. This is Jesus telling you he's going to come back and burn in a furnace with the gnashing of teeth everybody who is not righteous. Okay? How many people would that be today? Could we put a number on that? Can you put a number on that for me, anybody? How many people would Jesus be murdering in a furnace? Literally, he's saying he's going to do it by fire. In a furnace, gnashing of teeth. That's where the gnashing of teeth phrase comes from, if you're familiar with that. But wait, it says it again down here at the bottom. It says it again. Oh, shit. My new buttons. It says it again down here at the bottom. Ta-da-da. Once again, in the kingdom of heaven is like a net that was let down, talks about fishers. This is how it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come and separate the wicked from the righteous and throw them into the blazing furnace, where there will be weeping of teeth. Now, that would be billions of people. Billions of people. Jesus is telling you right there, he's going to come back and murder everyone who's not the right kind of Christian. Right there. Meek and mild. Jeebus. And he does it twice. Whenever I pulled up the reference, there's actually another place in another scripture, another book where he does it too. Same thing probably though. Jesus telling you he is going to burn in a furnace like Adolf Hitler murdered all those Jews. Jesus promises to murder everybody who is not Christian right here. And you guys say we're intolerant? Who's intolerant? You want to hear it again? You want to go look it up for yourself? You can go look it up for yourself. I'll read you the scripture here. It's Matthew 13. If you go to Matthew 13 and down here, it says it a couple times up here. The parable of the net and the parable of the weeds. At the end of both of them, the Son of Man will send out of his kingdom. Let's see. As the weeds, there we go. And then up here, it says it twice. I had them both up here too. Here we go, right here. Here's the second one. One right here, and one right here. There will be a weeping, and the Son of Man will send out his angels, and they will weed out of his kingdom everything that causes sin, and all who do evil. This is Jesus telling. My understanding is this is Jesus talking about what John interprets in the New Testament, or in the Revelation. So when you see Jesus as the Lamb stepping forward before the armies of God preparing to attack the earth, that's, I think, what he's talking about. In that kind of, am I wrong? I could be wrong. Either way, together or separate, it's still disgusting. Yeah. He's going to kill everybody who's intolerant. And that's just the beginning, isn't it? That's just the beginning. What happens to them after they die? Then the real fun begins, huh? Not only is he going to kill but by burning them in a fire, then I guess they're going to spend the rest of eternity in that fire, huh? Loving, merciful, forgiving. Oh, listen to this. You were warned. Right, exactly. Yeah. Free will. That's not really free will, is it? Is it free will? Free will's a piss poor excuse, isn't it? For a non-existent God. Why can't God stop that man from hurting those people? Well, free will, God wouldn't want to infringe on his free will, except for the entire time he's threatening you with eternal damnation. Believe in me or go to hell forever. That fucking affects people's free will. How many of you are in here right now because you've either fallen for the faith or the fear, and now you're a Christian, and that is entirely an infringement upon your free will? You're here because you're afraid. You're a Christian because you're afraid of hell. You don't want to spend an eternity in hell, right? Poor Knowledge Hub says it does not matter if Korah's nationality. Korah was a gainsayer. That's what the deal was. And was judged. Yeah, Korah was judged. Yeah, and little Timmy and little Sally and Bobby's little son and Mike's girl and that little infant over there, that baby, he was judged too. All of them rent asunder by your God creature. Loving, merciful, forgiveness. And you can't even say that, like, after he rent them asunder, he then took them to heaven. Not after what we read. You're not going to say that, are you? No, he murdered all these innocent people. Innocent people. You should go read the story of Korah if you don't know what we're talking about. So, that's God creature. And I didn't even realize that. It's been so long since I read the story of Korah. I had forgotten that when Korah came, God creature killed Korah and all of his people. I remembered that Moses' other people were like, damn, man, what the hell? And then God creature was going to kill them. And Moses was all starting to sacrifice and all that, working his ass off to keep that from happening. But I didn't remember that during that time, while Moses is running around getting ready to sacrifice, God is putting a plague on his own fucking people and murders 14,000 of his own people with a plague. Because somebody said, hey man, did you see what the hell? Really? That's warranted. What kind of God do you believe? I mean, oh my God, disgusting. More disgusting the more I hear about it, the more disgusting it is. I mean, that it killed 14,000 of its own people for being upset about how vicious and disgusting it was. Let me see if I can catch up with some chat here. I heard, I think, on maybe a new super chat. Flocky said, I'm 70, but that changes Monday. There'll be better. Or there better be cake. You're not 70. Happy birthday, Flocky. Thank you for spending your last days with us. I can't talk, man. I remember there's some guy who's like in his 80s. He said that he'd come in one day. He's like, I'm in my 80s. I was like, no, thank you for sharing your last moments. You don't have a lot of time. You're spending it here. But now I'm all gray and old, and I'm sharing my last moments with y'all before I burn in eternity for their loving and merciful God creature who forgives nothing, apparently. Thank you, though, for the super chat, $2 super chat. I very much appreciate you. Let's see. The amount of coercion in the Bible used to always make me question the Bible God. It's either him or else. Thank you, Velo. It very much is. They say you have a choice, but you don't really have a choice. It's not like stay in my house or you get the fuck out of my house. It's stay in my house or I'm going to take you out in the back fucking yard and light you on fire in the pool. That's not the same. I don't see how they even remotely get love out of that. There's no, I mean, well, here's the deal though. They can't tell you that the God creature would mercilessly blink you out of existence. Because if people believe that on the regular, that there was a God and that it would, or well, I don't know if there was a God part, that it wouldn't kill them. There's a lot of people, like I said, who are hooked on it by the fear. So if that fear was gone and they didn't think they were going to be tortured forever, would they still be there? Would they still be Christians? Then there's the other side of it, the fear. Oh, there's greed. So, I like the greed. Fear, faith, and greed. Pure, just unadulterated greed. Yeah. Are you a good person? If you're a Christian and you go give food to the poor and you help the needy and you donate your money and you give your last dime, are you a good Christian if you do that? The question is why you do it. Okay? Are you doing it because you want to help people and you love God and God thinks you should help people and you want to help people, and because there's a lot of good people out there who join churches specifically because they want to help people? Or are you doing it because you think God is going to hurt you for not doing those things, punish you for not being good enough, not doing those things? Remember Korah, you don't even have to be the guy who does the thing. All you have to do is be near the guy who does the thing. Let's see, another. Ooh, D20 has become a member. Oh, wow, thank you for becoming a member. D20, every time I see that, I think dice. Matthew Danovic says, sacrifice for God happily. What are you sacrificing for God? Your children? See, that's the part that's kind of scary about you people. You believe that whatever God says is true. Is whatever God says is good, is good, is good, is bad, is bad. And if God comes to you and you see God and he tells you, Abraham, I want you to sacrifice your firstborn son to me, would you go out in the backyard with your firstborn son? Would you trust that God really spoke to you as confidently as you come in here and you say God spoke to you in my chat? Would you be, is that how much faith you have? Would you hope that there'd be an angel to step up with a ram somewhere along the way? Most of you Christians may not know what I'm talking about. Anyway, God stayed his hand. He didn't stave Jephthah's hand, did he? And isn't it interesting that he did stay his hand and he replaced Isaac with a lamb, a goat. A goat, not a lamb. Sheep, goat. Isn't that interesting? Because God still demands blood. Abraham, a bad person, has done something wrong and is stained with ugliness. And in order to get that ugliness off of him, he has to hurt something. Either a goat or a person or a lamb. Does that make sense to you? The goat thing, oh yes, he didn't kill his son, but that he was going to. And that this God creature still demands innocent blood to make bad people good. You don't see that. You don't see that. That's just horrific. I don't see how you don't see it. The whole sacrifice thing. And remember, the more innocent the creature, the more the shittier a person you are, the more innocent the creature, right? Is that not true? So like, I love this example. So if I go rob a 7-Eleven, I come home, God creature's mad at me because I robbed a 7-Eleven. I don't have to give any money back to the 7-Eleven. I just have to make sure the God creature's okay with me. So I go in there and I get my 10-year-old son, I bring him in here, I sacrifice him to the God creature. And now God creature's happy with me. That makes sense to you? That's okay? That works? God did it. He sacrificed his only begotten son for you. And see, that's the whole point. Because, well, the 10-year-old's fine, but what if I'd actually killed somebody while I robbed them? Well, the 10-year-old's not good enough then. Then I've got to get something even more pure and snow white than a 10-year-old. Do you see where I'm going? How is your Jesus sacrifice not fucking disgusting? So then, because I've sacrificed, because I killed the guy at the 7-Eleven while I was robbing the 7-Eleven, so I don't have to repent to anybody over there. I just have to make sure God creature isn't mad at me. So instead of the 10-year-old, I go in the bedroom, I get the little 3-year-old, because he's pure. He hasn't seen MTV or any of that other stuff. So I bring out the little 3-year-old and I sacrifice him to God creature. Does that make sense to you? The shittier person I am, the more pure the sacrifice has to be. So I, a bad person, go hurt somebody, a bad act, that makes me clean? Really? Really? And you see where this is going, because all of humanity is counting in Jesus. That's why Jesus is perfect. That's why he's the lamb, white as snow. Because you have to get so more and more innocent. It has to be even more innocent than my 3-year-old. It has to be the Son of God. That's how innocent it has to be. But it's still a son. And it's still a child sacrifice. And it's still abso-fucking-lutely disgusting. Whenever you watch the news and you see those parents who let their children die of diabetes because they were praying and didn't take them to the doctor, or let them starve because they had a medical condition but they were praying to God, are you one of those people who go, oh, those were just such holy people? Is that how you see that? They did good? Is that murdering their own children for the name of God? Is that how that works for you? God did it. John 3:16, right, kids? Did it play the sound? It may have. I don't know if it played the sound. I gotta fix my sound. Oh, anyway, here we go. Let's see. What should I do for you? Let's see. This is the one I started earlier, but I didn't get to. Somebody said they don't like my commercials. So. Next up in the bark bank, a clergyman with a holy hustle and maybe a few unholy loopholes.
Hi, Barks. Blessings and belly rubs to you all. I'm Father Flanagan, and today I'm here seeking $50,000 for 3% of my soul-saving startup, Holy Halos, the world's first, soon-to-be, church-approved condoms. Following the ways of the Lord can be hard and often require sacrifices of the flesh. Well, fear not, my wayward child. Introducing Father Flanagan's line of Holy Halo condoms.
Hold on, Father. The church very much doesn't like condoms. How do you expect to sell these?
Well, you're right, but these aren't just any condoms. No, my furry financiers, these are permeable. But every single halo has been dipped in holy water, a divine divider between you and sin. You can finally frolic freely and still keep that sweet spot in heaven. Permeable, but dipped in holy water to keep the sin out, but let the babies in.
Let you get your stick wet without getting your stick stuck.
If you know what I mean.
Oh my! Very embarrassing every time.
So basically they don't work as condoms, but they let you get away with having sex without going to hell?
Exactly. The church gets to keep making babies, but you don't have to keep going to confession. Think of it. No more guilt. No more awkward "I'm saving myself for marriage" speeches. With Holy Halos, you can take those pray hands and turn them into lay hands.
Didn't I read that holy water is full of bacteria like E. coli? Won't this be harmful to women's health?
The words are English, but I don't understand the question.
How are you addressing the issue holy water presents for women's health?
Again, I'm not understanding.
She does that. Well, we don't get it either.
Is that mesh from a window screen?
Ah, that's a keen eye you have there, young lass. Yes. Another fine selling point, rough on the outside to increase her shame, as it should be, but soft and smooth on the inside, internally lubed and ribbed for his pleasure. We even have custom scents.
Scents? Now you have my attention. What flavors we talking? Don't pitch me that vanilla missionary nonsense, Padre.
Well, we do have virgin vanilla, but we also have miracle mint and a cooing camel, and my personal favorite, sweat of the Savior.
And the Vatican, they've blessed this endeavor?
Well, not exactly. I'm still waiting on the papal decree one way or the other.
I love it, but you're asking 50 grand for only 3%. That's rough, Father, real rough.
Not running with the big dogs on this one. I'm gonna stay on the porch.
Me too. Good luck, Father. 15%.
Ouch, 15%, that's highway robbery even for the church.
Come on, Father. We're dogs. We know a bone when we see one. 10%, and we'll even bless your branding.
Look, meet me in the middle, 7%, and I'll baptize all your puppies.
7% worse for me. Father Flanagan, it looks like
Wait a second. Our producers say we have a special call-in bidder. Let's get him up on the screen. Folks, we have the guardian of the sacred fire hydrant himself.
Oh no.
Defender of the holy tennis ball and eater of the golden kibble, Pup Oliver Poops a Lot the Fifth.
Flanagan!
Yes, your portrait.
50,000 at 20%.
20%?
And you get to keep calling yourself a father.
Sold to the pup in the very fine hat.
I knew you'd see it my way.
You're very wise, your hiney. Would there be anything else?
You may leave.
Father Flanagan's line of holy halos, ultra thin, spiritually thick. Available in 3 sizes, conservative, medium, and liberal. All right, we are back. Breakfast time. Now, I've got some points here for you fellas. Jesus lied. He was a liar. He lied several times. One lie, I guess one of my favorites, is when he was interrogated by the priests after he was arrested at Gethsemane. Instead of saying, I am here to give myself for all of mankind, he said, I never said anything in secret. All right. Right here, John 18. Okay. Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum. Right here. Jesus, he's being interrogated by the high priest. I have spoken openly to the world. I always taught in synagogues or at the temple where all the Jews come together. Now, if you've ever heard of the Sermon on the Mount, you know that is a lie. That was not in a synagogue or a temple. He taught on a lake. Remember him teaching on the lake out of a boat? Remember that time whenever he fed the 50 people or 2,000 people with the fishes and loaves? Remember that time that he healed that guy and taught out of some dude's house and they had to lower a guy through the roof? Jesus lied. Now, it gets even better. Read the next line. Right here. It says, I said nothing in secret. Right there. Really? He said nothing in secret. Let's go over to Matthew, my friends, where Jesus explains about the parable, why he does the parables. It's 10:13. Right here. Here it is. They ask him, why do you speak in parables? Why are you teaching us in secret? That's what parables are. He teaches them saying things that other people can't understand. That's literally teaching in secret. Now, he's also got the whole thing where he goes and heals people and then says, don't tell anybody. He does it over and over again. Mark chapter 1 opens with him healing a leper and then telling the leper to go do the sacrifices at the temple with the priest as per the law of Moses, and don't tell anybody. And yet right here, my friends, you can see Jesus telling you that he never said nothing in secret. Jesus is a liar. This is exactly the place where Jesus should be going. He's been arrested. He's got the Romans and the Jews. He's got their attention. He has all eyes on him. All he has to do is demonstrate his power and he can convert the whole fucking world. That would be the beginning, but he doesn't. He lies. he lies his little ass off. Just like, again, in the Garden of Gethsemane, he was terrified. He was hiding. He didn't want to go through with it. He was hiding in the Garden of Gethsemane. It was not his will. Whenever he... Here, right here, it says it right here. I got one open. Is this one yet? Okay, let's go back. Next chapter. One back. There we go. John 17. Okay. Nope. Where's his Gethsemane story? I want to find his Gethsemane story. I thought I had the Gethsemane story. Oh, maybe not be John. Okay, there we go. There we go. All right. Let's see. Ooh, Mark. Ooh, I like Mark. There we go. Matthew. I knew it was in one of the other ones too. Matthew, and is it in John? How much? Because it in John. John is the only one where he doesn't say it. In Matthew, let's go here. Matthew 26. Not 126, jackass. All right. Matthew 26. Right here, Jesus says, verse 39, we'll go down to 39. Go down to 39, my ignorant Christian friends. Jesus says it is not his will. He is not willing to do this. It's not his will. He doesn't want to. He says it over and over again. He doesn't want to. Let this cup pass from me. Not my will, but your will. Every time. Let's do this. Matthew 26:39. Okay, here we go. Then Jesus, he began, all right, so he took Peter and the two sons of blah with him, and they began to be sorrowful. He began to be sorrowful. Then he said to them, my soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me. Going a little further, he fell to his face, with his face to the ground and prayed, my Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will. And he does it every time. In Mark, Matthew, and Luke. Every time. And sometimes twice. Oh, yeah, right here. Is this here? Okay, listen. Then he returned to his disciples. Couldn't you stay awake? Watch and you pray then. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. He went away a second time and prayed, my Father, is it not, if it is not possible for this cup to be taken away from me unless I drink it, may your will be done. And then we go to Mark, and I think Mark specifically, it specifically says, yet not my will, but your will. Twice. Jesus was not willing. He only did it because he had to. Remember I was telling you about my little son that I called in here earlier? I said, come on in here. I robbed his store over here. He's like, all right, Daddy, what you need? I was like, well, man, I robbed that store, and the only way I can get to heaven is if I sacrifice you to the God creature. He's like, ooh, I don't really want to do that. I'm like, all right, well, you're going to do it no matter what. He's like, I don't want to. All right, but if you say so, I guess I got it. And that's kind of how it went right here. God, he didn't want to. He says so every time. In every book. You didn't know that? You didn't know? Yeah. That's the whole deal. Most of you just don't know. Mark 14. There's just so many of these. I can't remember them all. Let's go to Mark 14. The Last Supper, when Jesus, the Jews, celebrated Passover, which was the murder of innocent children in Egypt. I'm just going on about myself then. Let's see. They were going on. They were saddened. Gethsemane. They went to a place. He took Peter and James and John along. My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. He said to them, stay here and keep watch. Going a little further, he fell to the ground and prayed that if it possible, this hour might pass from him. Abba, Father, he said, everything is possible for you. Take this cup from me, yet not my will, but your will. Jesus telling you he's not willing. He's choiceless. Let's do this again. And then a little further down. Then he returned to his disciples. Couldn't you keep watch for an hour? A single hour these bitches couldn't stay awake. I'm with him. I think personally I've read enough of the Bible to where I believe the disciples were little more than Keystone Cops. Bunch of fucking idiots. Anyway, Here we go, down here. Verse 39. Once more he went away and prayed the same thing. What was the thing he prayed? Take this cup from me, yet not what I will, but what you will. He went and prayed the same thing. He was not willing. Interesting. Do you care? How many of you Christians are watching this and you're actually going, damn, all this time I thought he was willing. That he gave himself willingly. And yet his own words right here says he doesn't. I remember my preacher talking about this, glorifying how Jesus acknowledged that God's will was greater than his. And now that I know what the word consent means, something I think the Christians are a little depraved upon. Let's see. You guys like a good song?
Mi burrito es tan bueno, it burns when I pee. Abraham had the crotch cooties and gave his sister wife to me. El ataco bueno, bueno, it stings like a bee. They told me she was his sister, now I'm plagued between the knees. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penile plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs. Mi burrito está no bueno, a full bladder I fear. Abraham's lies and Sarai's touch have left me itching front to rear. Mi burrito está bueno, it burns when I pee. Abraham had the crotch cooties and gave his sister wife to me. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penile plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs. Mi burrito está no bueno, a full bladder I fear. Abraham's lies and Sarai's touch have left me itching front to rear. Mi burrito está no bueno, it burns when I pee. Abraham had the crotch cooties and gave his sister wife to me. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penile plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, a case of penile plague. I've got the Pharaoh's curse, there's fire between my legs.
All right, we are back. Let me do this right here. I'll get that off of there. Pure Loop Shorts. Good morning, Pure Loop Shorts. Says Jesus was a good man. If Jesus were real, he may have been a good man. Kind of depends, you know. Let's see here. Mark chapter 3. Let's look at Mark chapter 3 over here. Mi burrito está no bueno. It burns when I pee. Okay, let's see here. Check this out. I want to mention a couple things. Earlier, I wasn't talking about it earlier. I'll talk about it now. You Christians think it's weird that we have a hard time believing in your God creature and in these stories, this horrific story that is told. Well, even after being coddled and modified by your priest, you can still look through the lies and see the ugly truth beneath the Bible. It's right there that you can see. And that's what we talk about on here. Now, I want to mention, this is what we're talking about. You expect us to believe this God in these crazy stories you tell us. And your stories, you got to kind of admit, they're all conflictory. You yourselves go, oh, that's not a real Christian. Oh, they're not real Christians. They're not doing it right. So, I mean, right? It's all conflictory. And then, here's the thing, though. Even the people of the day, even the ancient Israelites, who were there living in it according to their own fucking story, didn't believe. God would work his miracles, and it was like he wasn't working his miracles at all. And the people didn't give a shit. They just go on doing about their doing themselves. Have you noticed that? How many times does he sell them into slavery here or punish them over here? He demonstrates his magnificent, glorious power. He parts the Red Sea before the eyes of the people. They go through and the dust hasn't settled yet and they're already worshiping the gods of the Egyptians. Does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to you? Really? That they would do that? Huh. It just doesn't, it's just crazy. It almost sounds like there was a guy who was writing this story and going, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. And then when bad shit did happen, he blamed it on the sky that was falling. Let's see here. Jesus, he may have been a good man. That's why I was bringing up Mark chapter 3. Let's go down here to Mark. Is it Mark chapter 3? Yeah. Here's Mark chapter 3. Oh, shit. New system, guys. Sorry. Mark chapter 3. Says right here. Now, I don't know if I told you earlier the reason for the parables. You know the reason for the parables. He's teaching them in secret, but do you know why? He tells you. I don't know if it's this one. I didn't look it up, but he tells you the reason for the parables is the reason why he's teaching in secret is because those people out there might hear his message, be turned, and be saved, and he doesn't want them to be saved. Did you hear that? That's the whole purpose for the parables, and Jesus tells you that. Let me look at that. There we go. Mark, Matthew, with parallel accounts with his disciples, he used the teaching method. I can pull them up. Let me pull one up here. Mark, Matthew. Okay, here we go. I'm a liar, right? Here we go, right here. Oh, wrong one. Wrong one. Sorry, it's new system. New system. People, get off my back. Can you see over here? Can you see what I see? Okay, here you go, right here. And I can do this. That doesn't help you guys at all. Let me do this. All right, right here. You can see on this one right here, it says, they're asking him, why do you speak? The reason for the parables. Why do you speak in parables, to them in parables? And he answered and said to them, to you it has been granted to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. Remember, John chapter 18, he lies and says he never said anything in secret. Liar, liar, liar. Go look that shit up yourself. John 18, I showed it earlier on the screen. For whoever has, to him more will be given. All right. Am I reading the right one? Okay. Now, he does say, for this reason I speak to them in parables, because seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand. With this reference, they to them prophesy Isaiah. This is not the one I'm looking for. Is it in the other one? This might be it. I'm just not taking the time to read it. Because seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand. And with reference to them, the prophecy of Isaiah is fulfilled. Let me find the other one then. Let me find this other one. Because there's one of them that specifically tells you that it just stops there, but there's one that specifically tells you. Which one is this, Matthew? Let's go to Mark 4. Mark 4. And it's also in Luke too. It might even be Luke. 11 and 12. Okay. blah, 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 blah. And those who are sown among the thorns and plants. See, this is something about the parable of the sower I want to mention while we're here, since we're here. You'll notice that this is the parable of the sower up here, talking about the seeds and how they go into the ground and where they go up and where they become a crop. But down here, they blame the seeds like it's their fault. And the others are sown among the thorns and plants. These are the ones who hear the word, and the cares of the world and the deceitfulness of the wealth and the desires for other living things come in and choke the word, and it becomes unproductive. It's their fault, though, for being there. Let me find this other one. It's gotta be this other one. I know I'm probably missing it already. Luke 8. Luke chapter 12 has become one of my favorite chapters recently. Yeah, okay. Luke chapter, okay, maybe that's it. Is that it? Je ne sais pas. I'm a liar until I find it, right? All right. So Luke chapter 8. Here we go. All right, so his disciples asked him what this parable meant. He said, the knowledge of the secrets of the kingdom of God has been given to you, but to others I speak in parables, so that, though seeing, they may not see, though hearing, they may not understand. This is the meaning of the parable. The seed is the word of God. Those along the path are the ones who hear it, and then the devil comes and takes away the words from their hearts, so that they may not believe and be saved. Those on the rocky ground are those who receive, those who believe. Though seeing, they may not see. Hold on one second. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, man, I didn't mean to do that. I know I've got it in there somewhere. I think that's it. Yeah, I think I had it right with Mark. You guys can't see my face, can you? All right, so where was that again? Let's go here. Let me see. 10 through 12. That's what I thought. I'm just getting old. I think I'm just a geezer. I am a geezer. Geezer am I. Mark 4. Okay, I was in the right place. All right. So that. Right here. This is it. The liar atheist wasn't a liar. The reason for the parables, this is Mark. Mark is the first book, the oldest book, my understanding. And then he was alone, around them together. They asked him, what about the parables? And he said unto them, to you has been granted the secret of the kingdom of heaven. Remember, I never said anything in secret, said Jesus in John 18. Liar! To you has been granted the secret of the kingdom of God, but to those who were outside, everything is in parables, so that they may look closely and not perceive, and that they may listen carefully and not understand, lest they turn and it be forgiven them. Jesus is saying he is teaching people in secret because he doesn't want other people to hear his message and turn and be forgiven. That's pretty shitty, don't you think? That kind of shitty. Anyway, let's do this right here. Ba-dum-ba-bum-bum. Darth Gently. Comic Brandon. Darth Gently. Man, what the hell's going on there? Respectfully, you're uneducated, so I don't care if you aren't convinced it's embarrassing. Are you talking to me? You might not be talking to me. Yeah, I got so much going on in the chat. It doesn't matter. John's 10:17. No one takes my life from me. I have power to lay it down, to power to take it up. That's great. That's wonderful, isn't it? Yeah, he's speaking pretty bold in John, far away, when he was surrounded by his friends. I talked about this on the show today. Thank you for pointing that out. Whenever he was safe, he was brave and bold and brutal and only I give my life. But the night before he was taken by the Romans, he was begging not to go, begging like a coward. Please, 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 please don't make me do this. over and over and over again. And it was God's will. It tells you right there 3 times in all 3 of the synoptic gospels. It tells you right there. And again, we got 2 different times. Yeah, Jesus is talking big and bold whenever he's over there, safe and protected. But whenever shit's coming to get him, he was sweating blood. Let's go here. And you know, why did he go with the Romans whenever they came the next day? Because they sent a whole fucking, what do they call them? A whole bunch of Romans. Damn, what the hell is that? So they sent armed Romans, a whole bunch of, what is that, a horde? Not a horde, a military unit of Roman, but they sent a lot of Roman soldiers. And Jesus tells you, the story tells you just before they got there, that they only had 2 swords. Jesus and them had 2 swords. Why did they have 2 swords? Why would Jesus need a sword? Why would Jesus tell them in the story just before to go buy swords? Why would he do that? Cohort. It was a whole cohort. It was a cohort. So whenever a cohort showed up of Romans, yeah, he went with him, because if he hadn't gone with him, he would have fucking died right there. Him and everybody with him would have died right there. His entire movement would have. In fact, they did all flee after he left, right? It even says it in the thing. They ran. They all fled. So, there you have it. You were talking to the host. That's lucky, good for you. Was the host listening to you? The host has a double chat. What are you talking about? Are you talking about So wait a second. So you mean here on the left, that's a double chat? Or whenever I had the page up, it's a double chat. I get that the words are covered up, but I mean, I just set this up this morning and I didn't, I fucked it up. So tomorrow when you come back to the show, this will disappear and there won't be doubled up words. The reason why this is different in the chat on the screen here that you see than what you see on the phone is because this is a 2 different chats merged together from the vertical stream and horizontal stream. So that's why that is. That's what it is. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, so Jasik, I know you don't admit you're wrong, and you probably never will, but you're wrong. And I just showed you how you're wrong. Every synoptic gospel, Jesus says he's not willing. And then again, like I say, whenever they came to get him, he did tell them, go buy swords. And they came back and had 2 swords. Why did he do that? Why would he do that? Also, that's what I was looking for, Luke. Yes, I forgot. I got distracted. I was going to show you something from Luke. Don't make me look it up. You're going to make me look it up. Fuck. What I need, Ollie is my computer engineer. You'd think he'd be better at making sure. Why does it keep doing that? I'm old, computer confused old man. Yeah, there we go. Luke 22. Let's go eyeball Luke 22 for the kicks and giggles of it. Luke. Why you keep typing like, dude? Fuck. Luke 22. Let's go down here. Is this the one at the festival where he lies to his brother and says he's not going to the festival? Oh, he lied. Anyway. That's the one most people talk about. Jesus prays on the mountain. Okay. Here we are, my friends. Remember how brave and bold Jesus was whenever he was safe among his people and wasn't immediately being threatened. They're not coming and getting him right now. However, as the night is upon him and the time is now, they are upon him, and his attitude changed completely. All of a sudden, he's praying, begging God not to go through with it. He's hiding in the Garden of Gethsemane. He's arming up his people. Let me do this. Come on, damn ya. And now, let's go here. Let's look at this one again. Right here, it says he was so fucking terrified he was sweating blood. Jesus went out on the Mount of Olives and his disciples following. On reaching the place, he said to them, "Pray you will not fall into temptation." He withdrew about a stone's throw away, knelt down and prayed, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me, yet not my will." I'm not willing. I don't want to do this, but yours be done. Right there, again, Jesus telling you in his own words he doesn't want to do it. An angel from heaven appeared to him and strengthened him. He had to strengthen him now. Now he's not all bold and brave. Only I give my life, right? No, he's not. An angel is there to strengthen him. And being in anguish, he prayed more earnestly, and his sweat was like drops of blood to the ground. That is a literal medical condition, where you are so terrified that you sweat blood. That is a thing. Jesus was literally shitting bricks. Yeah, bold and brave. I can't really deny, I would be too. If I knew what was coming, I would be too. But that's the thing, I'm not God. I am not God incarnate. I don't know that, well, it'll be over in just a little bit and I'll go up to heaven and I'll be all powerful again. I wouldn't know those things. All right, let me do this. I'm going to read our super chats. I'm going to go do other things. Let's see here. Thank you, my friends, for all the support. I very much appreciate you. My new computer's appreciate. I had to get a new computer. I got some new graphics I am working on, and there are those out there who will know I am working on Father Flanagan's line of self-flogging whips. That's true. Because, if your arm is hurting or something and you don't have time to discipline yourself for being a sinful and wicked person, all you have to do is kind of sling it over your arm and hit the button, and it'll beat the shit out of you. Beat the hell out of you, I guess it were. That's coming up, a new product from the Father Flanagan's line of products. Let me read our super chats here. TEC said, "How gay can you be to get an atheist tattoo about God that doesn't exist? The non-existence of God yet again affects my friend Chris." Yeah, once again, it just completely goes over your head. It's not the non-existence of God. And the fact that you keep saying that just exposes your ignorance. I've told you many times, slowly. Maybe you should have a smart person explain it to you. Maybe you could just down in the chat type in the names of the religious people who are oppressing people by, 10 Commandments in schools, book bans, all that stuff. You do that. Do that for me. Beard of Empathy for $5 says, "Stanley absolutely adored alliterative appellatives." Yes, like a Peter Parker and Bill Bixby and Bruce Banner, and you didn't know I knew what that meant, did you? I'm not as dumb as I look. I would be in a coma, I think, if I were as dumb as I look. The Atheist Mechanic for $10 said, "Some people seem to think the America was founded on Judeo-Christian principles. Treaty of Tripoli would disagree with that, though. You should really go, if you think the American is a Christian nation, you should go read the Treaty of Tripoli. The founding fathers would disagree with you. Can't have freedom of religion without freedom from religion." And then Flockmaster for $2 says, "I'm 70, but that changes Monday. There better be cake." Happy birthday, Flockmaster. Have a safe weekend. Have fun. Sin safely, my friend. Let's see. D20 has been a member for 3 months. Old hand. Thank you for being there. And then the Atheist Mechanic for $10 says, "If God exists, he could come down and tell his fan club to not be so goddamn annoying." Thanks. Yes, he could. We would appreciate that if he would do that, but I don't think he's going to in his complete non-existence. Remember, he doesn't bark for us when we tell him to bark. And I got another super chat down here, and this other one, I didn't hear that one either. From Ivy Ann. Hello, Ivy Ann. I hope I didn't make you wait long before I read this. Zealot who wanted to take down Rome and the Gentiles, as if someone watching Rome slay his people would say, "Pay your taxes to Caesar." That's really true. I think really it's kind of complicated. Hard to oversimplify. Easy to oversimplify. I think that he would have stopped just at Judea. He would never have moved on to Rome. All he cared about was the Jews. He didn't care about the Gentiles at all. He didn't care about that. He just wanted them gone, and that kind of shows up with the woman, the Canaanite woman, the Syrophoenician woman that he runs into, where he even tells her, "I'm here for the Jews. I'm not here for you." He tells a begging woman whose daughter is suffering horribly that she's a dog and not worth his magic. Apparently his magic is limited. because he can't give some to, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's like the food from the table from the dogs. And then she, of course, said she was a dog, therefore he gave her the food. Oh, yeah, sure, he did give her the food after she begged and pleaded. She came in and begged him. He literally ignored her, according to the scripture. Then she bugged the disciples so much, they came and they said, man, she is here. She's bugging the shit out of us. Please send her away. They did not say, heal her child. They said, please send her away. Then he says, to do that, to heal her, or to heal her would be like throwing food for the children to the dogs. And then she comes and prostrates herself before him and says, yes, but even the dogs get the crumbs from the children's table. This is a Gentile Jew situation, and all you Christians think Jesus loves you. He had no idea about you. Paul did, though, and Paul never met Jesus, right? All right, guys, I thank you very much. You guys are all wonderful. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope you sin safely and take care. And I'll kind of read some of this chat. Sometimes I'll pop back. You know how I am. Sin safely, my friends. Have a great weekend. Take care.
Got a house that smells like old cheese and shame. Father Flanagan's flesh candles change the game. Goat-scented thrills for your soul's delight. Light it up, baby, make your room right. When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to set the tone. Confession booth, busy, no need to stress. Light a candle and forget your mess. Gross odors vanish like sins in the wind. With each wick, guess who's your new best friend? When you've sinned and need to atone, light a candle and avoid the stone. Smell the goat in a holy zone. Father Flanagan, here to set the tone. Lambs and calves may have their day, but goat's the scent that leads the way. Clean your slate with a sniff so pure. Father Flanagan's got the cure. Turn your home into a saintly space. With every whiff, find redeeming grace. From your living room to the kitchen sink, light the goat